Hello, I was wondering if this is the correct number for customer service?
Yes, this is Customer Service Center. How may I help you today?
Well, I'd like to report an incident that happened to me. I walked into one of your hotels and was assaulted by one of your employees, and I just want to say that that behavior is completely unacceptable.
One of our employees assaulted you? I see. Would you mind telling me a bit more about this incident so that I can begin to make a report about it?
Well, it was really windy and rainy outside, and it was getting way too dangerous to drive, so anyway, I pulled over and walked to the hotel and ran inside for some cover. And then someone calling themselves the manager ran up to me and told me that I didn't belong in the hotel and called me poor. He ran right up to me and hit me in the face and threw me out into the pouring rain.
I see. I was wondering what this might have been about, but now I see that you're just that no-good poor person from earlier.
Wait a second, are you the manager that hit me?
I am. Although I'm currently sitting in for the person that is usually manning the customer service hotline. But to think that I would happen to be working here when a deluded madman such as yourself would try to contact us? Are you an escapee from a mental hospital or something? Do I need to call your handler?
Excuse me? What is the matter with you? What makes you think that you can talk to me this way?
Listen here, you little street urchin. Why don't you learn some respect and call me by my name? Or did you not read it before I kicked you out? Well, allow me to jog your memory. The name is Tim. Although I suppose I can't really ask a poor person to even take notice of something like a name tag. You've probably never been in a place nice enough to use them.
Are you really the manager for this hotel? You have got some nerve talking to your customers this way, you know that? What's the matter with you?
Well, if you were a real customer, I would never ever take this sort of tone with you. But you're not a customer. You're just a dirty little squatter looking for handouts. I don't owe you any kind of special treatment.
Look, I don't care what kind of a person you are when you're not working, but the point is that I was someone who just walked into your hotel. Why wasn't I shown the same level of respect that anyone else was just walking into your hotel?
Do you think that we live by the customer as always right here? Our clientele is exclusively made up of rich and famous. It's not just anyone that can come in here and claim to be a customer. In fact, even to work here, you have to go through a grueling training process. And I manage all of these employees, which makes me the best of them. So don't go trying to claim the right to any kind of treatment that you're not even close to deserving. All you are is trash. Trash that deserve to be swept away in that wind and rain. If you want to go looking for handouts, there are plenty of other suckers that might fall for your tricks. But I know that I couldn't have you defiling my hotel, and that's why I kicked you out. In fact, I should call the police on you and have them arrest you for trespassing.
I really can't believe what you're telling me. Are you seriously the manager of this hotel? I find it very hard to believe that the hotel would give a job like that to someone like you.
Well, quite frankly, I don't give a damn about what some poor little peasant thinks about me. The matter of the fact is that the job is mine, and I can do whatever I want.
Hey, Ralph, are you there? I was just wondering if you had a minute to talk really quick.
Oh, hey big bro. Yeah, I can talk right now. What's on your mind, Neil?
I actually just wanted to know about how your stay at the hotel is going.
Aren't you on vacation with your family right now? You know that you can take a break from checking in on everyone all the time. You never take a break from work, do you?
I know, but with all this stormy weather, I just couldn't help but worry. Thankfully, where we all are, there's not a lot of rain, and so we didn't get hit that hard. What about you?
Well, it was pretty windy and rainy here, but that's about it, thankfully. Nothing too crazy happened. Well, nothing too crazy with the weather, anyway. Checking in at the hotel was interesting.
Interesting? What do you mean by that? Did something happen?
Well, I was on my way to the hotel, and I had to pull over and walk to the hotel because the rain was so bad. By the time I finally got there, I was completely soaking wet. And anyways, the manager saw me in that state and hit me in the face and threw me out.
Wait, one of the staff members there hit you in the face? Are you serious?
I was so shocked. I'd never had anything like that happen to me before. But I guess since I was so wet, this guy might have thought that I wasn't a customer and was just trying to get out of the rain. He called me a dirty poor person and said that I wasn't welcome there and then hit me. I know I probably shouldn't have gone inside when I was so wet, but what other choice did I have when the weather was like that?
That's no excuse at all. You were just trying to get out of the rain for a little bit. Did you catch the name of the person who did that to you?
It was Tim something or other.
Tim. Huh.
I hope I'm not asking too much of you, but the whole experience was really upsetting, and I was wondering if I could ask you to handle it.
Are you sure you want it to be me?
I think that it would be better if you handled this. After all, you are the area manager for the hotel chain, right? Wouldn't this fall under your jurisdiction?
You're right. I'll get right on that.
Thanks a lot, and I'm so sorry to dump all this on you so suddenly.
You don't have anything to apologize for. This is the least I can do for all that you've done for me. Tim, just what the heck do you think you're doing over there, huh?
Neil, what's this all about? Is this to do with work? I thought you were on vacation with your family, right?
Why am I hearing that you hit someone in our hotel who was just trying to stay out of the rain? What were you thinking doing something like that?
Hold on a second. This is some kind of mistake. I did hit someone and throw them out of the hotel, but it was only because I was sure they were some kind of thief using the rain as an excuse to sneak in.
You thought you were hitting a thief?
That's right. He was using the storm outside as an excuse so that he could hang around our hotel, and when we let our guard down, he was going to rob us. I couldn't expose the other customers to that risk, so I had no choice but to get him out of the hotel.
And you thought that was a good reason to hit this man as well?
It was the only thing that I could think of to get him out of the hotel quickly. I couldn't just let him hang around forever. He forced me to do that to him. I wasn't just going to stand there and let this shabby person ruin the reputation of our luxury hotel. It would have harmed our business. I was only protecting the hotel, I swear. I don't understand why you're mad when I did this for the business.
So you not only admit to hitting this person, but you're also trying to justify it, huh? If I understand correctly, you don't have any intention of apologizing for what you've done? But nonetheless, I'll give you one more chance to admit your wrongdoing.
I'm sorry. I'm still really confused. What do I even have to apologize for? All I was doing was my job as the manager to make sure that the hotel was running smoothly. If anything, I don't understand why I should have to explain myself to you.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
I mean that you're supposed to be this area's manager, but you're totally useless. You weren't there and you don't know what happens. So who are you to tell me what to do? If I had your job, I would be doing it 1,000 times better than you are. In fact, I was in line to have your job until you swooped in out of nowhere and took it from me. Do you have any idea how long I've been stuck as the manager of this hotel? When I heard that you were taking my job, I did some looking into you and found out all about how you used to work for a conglomerate that owns this chain of hotels. You've been a manager for all kinds of business and even other hotel chains, right?
How did you find all that out? I was sure that I made it so what I did in the past would be hidden from anyone working under me.
There you go. This is just another reason why you're a terrible manager. You don't know what's going on at any of the other hotels, and yet you have the nerve to try and tell me how to do my job? I can't believe that. I have to work under the person who stole my promotion and can't even do his job right. You just get this job because of who you know, not your abilities. I have a much longer and more impressive resume than you. I should have your job. It isn't fair.
Okay, you seriously need to chill out. Don't you ever get sick of making excuses for yourself? You still have your job because I thought that you could handle the responsibilities that came with it. But I see now that I was wrong about that. I won't lie that I've had my eye on this job for a while now. And since I haven't been officially given the position, I decided to hide my past.
I knew it. I almost didn't believe it when I read that you were related to the CEO. But now I know it's true.
So you've even looked into my family, huh? Well, then I guess you really do know everything that I tried to hide. But either way, that still isn't an excuse for the assault that you carried out on a customer. And as your supervisor, I won't just ignore the fact that you did that. And your punishment is going to be appropriate for what you did. You can count on that.
Oh, I'm so scared. Please, what can you even do to me? You're going to punish me for chasing a non-guest off the property? Good luck getting management to go along with that.
You don't get to decide who is and isn't a customer, the moment they walked through the door.
This just proves that you really have no idea what it's like inside the hotels. If I see some soaking, wet, poor person come in, I know right then and there that they don't belong. They don't have enough money for one night in one of our hotels, so why waste our time with them? That's why I called that man what he is, poor, and I threw him back out into the rain. I know all about how this business works, and I'm not going to be talked down to by someone who got where they are by who they know, and not what they can do. And besides, I already erased the security footage of what I did, so there's not even any proof.
I can't believe you would do something like that.
Well, there's nothing you can do about it now.
But you did all that to the CEO, the one who said you found out that I was related to. The person who you hit and threw out of the hotel was my little brother, and he also owns the conglomerate that owns our hotel. That's the person you called a poor thief. Oh man, you're so stupid.
You really expect me to believe that someone looking like that was the owner of the hotel? Why the heck would the owner be coming to the hotel in the middle of a storm anyways? Huh? I've never heard of the big boss ever making a trip to a place like this.
Well, he just happened to be in the area and wanted to check in on the state of the hotel himself. He knows how busy this time of year can be for us. So instead of making a phone call, he wanted to go out and do some of the work himself. Maybe you'd recognize him if he was wearing a suit. But he dressed up quite casually and didn't look like hotel staff or an owner. But that was the man that you kicked out into the storm. In fact, the area where the hotel is was slated for much worse weather, but the path changed around the time you kicked my brother out. Thanks to you, though, he could have been seriously hurt if the storm hadn't moved.
This is all just a lie. You're just trying to scare me right now, aren't you?
Why would I lie about this? Everything I've said has been the truth. My little brother's name is Ralph Erickson. I'm sure if you Google him, you'll recognize his face.
I don't know what to say right now.
I take it that you took my advice and looked up my brother?
I did. His face and name matched that of the CEO on our webpage. Except on our webpage, he's in a suit, and his hair looks much nicer. But his face was the same as the guy who I kicked out of the hotel. There's no way this is all just a coincidence either. But I don't get it. If he's your little brother, then why aren't you the owner of the hotel and stuff? You're just another worker like me.
That's right, but it's only because I didn't want to be in charge of everything. I was in line to take over everything, but it never sat right with me, and Ralph seemed much better suited to it. So we talked to my parents, and they agreed to let Ralph take over the company instead.
So then, you two are the sons of the old CEO?
I thought you looked into who my family was. But anyways, I guess now you understand why I tried so hard to hide who I was. Although I will admit that this area manager job was compensation for the CEO position that I turned down. So while my brother works at HQ and handles the bigger picture stuff, I prefer much more to manage closer to the ground.
But I still don't understand it. Our HQ is in New York. What was your brother doing all the way out here?
He actually just happened to be out here on a business trip for another company he runs when he heard about the storm. He messaged me and said that he was going to examine your hotel himself. But he got caught in the storm without an umbrella, and I guess his car must have broken down. So he had to get out and walk all the way to your hotel, and, well, you know the rest of the story, I assume.
Mr. Erickson, I would like to sincerely apologize for my behavior earlier. I had no idea that you were the owner of this establishment. You should have said something to me. Had you done so, I would have shown you to the penthouse suite right away.
Well, it seems like someone's attitude has gone through quite a shift. Although it's obvious that you're only acting this way because you found out that I'm the owner of your hotel. I must say though, your style of management is quite unorthodox.
I really do want to apologize again. I genuinely thought that you were some kind of stranger trying to sneak their way inside.
I see, and do you physically assault all people who come into the hotel if you think they might not be guests? Because this is the first time I've ever gone through something like this. In fact, I would say that you're guilty of assault and should be punished, don't you think?
Please don't punish me. I really am sorry. I really was just thinking about the good of the hotel and was only trying to protect its image.
I don't want to hear any of your excuses. I understand that my brother has already given you plenty of chances to make up for this, no? He was the one that I went to ask him to handle your case. As I'm sure you're aware, I don't directly oversee the hotels that I own. He even came to me asking me to move ahead with any kind of punishments for you. Although here you are messaging me and only giving me excuses for what you've done. Well, if you thought that was going to be enough to sway me, you're quite wrong, I'm afraid.
Please, it was just an honest mistake. You're not going to punish me for that, are you?
You really don't realize the seriousness of what you've done, do you? A manager of a hotel assaulted someone who walked through their doors just because he thought they looked poor. How can I entrust the management of one of my businesses to someone who acts so rashly and carelessly? I'm sorry, but I've made up my mind and I will have to punish you for this. I can't allow this to happen for a second time. You should have thought about the possible consequences of your actions before you did what you did to me. But thanks to you, I've learned that I have to be much more careful about who my company hires as managers.
No, please don't do this to me. I really am sorry. You have to forgive me. Neil, are you there? Please, you have to get me in touch with your brother. He stopped responding to my messages. I have a really bad feeling that I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. Please, you have to help me.
Hello, Tim. I was wondering if you would stop bothering my brother with all your messages. He's very busy having to step in and take over the management of the hotel for you, and he doesn't have time to deal with your griping.
Mr. Erickson, thank goodness it's you. Please, you have to forgive me. I'm so sorry for everything. But I won't be able to make a living at this rate. I promise to never do anything like I did again. If you just please forgive me.
Well, if you're really serious, I guess I could stop your work suspension.
You mean it? You do that for me?
I will, but you're just gonna get arrested anyway.
What do you mean by that?
What do you think I mean? Did you really think that you were gonna get away with what you did to me? You said that you'll never do anything like you did to me again, but I don't think that you've really done enough thinking about your actions. I mean, you've said some horrible things, you were violent, and now it's clear that you were just worried about saving your own skin. I really don't think that you're a good fit with the company that I'm trying to foster. That's why I felt like I had no choice but to go to the police and report what you did to me. I asked them to check the security footage for proof of it.
You asked them to look at the security footage? But I already told you I erased all of it.
Oh, that's right. Well then, I guess it's a good thing that a few months ago I arranged to have a security footage from all the companies sent to a storage facility. I suppose that I can just invite the police over to headquarters to see that footage then. I won't have any trouble being given access to it since I am in charge after all. Also, do you happen to know just how many cameras there are operating in your hotel?
I think there are like 15. I know a few of them are dummies, and I'm not sure which are the real ones.
Well, that guess was pretty close. Before I changed the system, now they've all been made real and I've increased the number in use. Although for some reason the video data coming into my backup hard drives doesn't quite match how many cameras there actually should be. I was really confused until I checked on some of the footage that we did have, and happened to catch you taking down the ones that should have been newly put up. I'm assuming that you're selling them online or something, thinking that HQ would pay for everything, but you did it right in front of a live camera.
But I thought that one was a dummy.
Well, they were all real by the time, so you thought to try and steal them. So not only did you assault me, but you also stole from me.
Okay, I'm really sorry for everything. I'll even return money. Just please don't bring the cops into this.
It's way too late to apologize for all that now. After that, Tim was arrested and charged with assault and theft. He was fired and left with barely a penny to his name by the time all was said and done. I have no idea where he is now or what he's doing. As for my brother, the company ended up finding out who he really was. But the staff had been so pleased with his job as manager that nobody really minded at all. As for me, I had to let my wounds recover and didn't show my face in public for a while. Tim really did have a strong right hook. Plus, I figured that it was better not to make myself too known in the midst of all. After that, I took it upon myself to hire a new manager from the hotel that Tim was fired from. It turns out that in the interim time that my brother had taken over for Tim during his suspension, he had become extremely popular among the staff, and came to grow fond of them himself. When he heard that I was doing interviews for the job, he put his hat in. I asked if he was sure, and he responded that if possible, he'd like to remain the regional manager and directly manage that hotel, as well since he had grown so fond of it since starting there.